All right. We are now
Hi.
live. Woohoo! Good morning. How are you, Lisa?
Good. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. I've had a great time. My sister and her little boy have been here for the weekend, so we've just had a nice family visit. It's been great.
That's terrific.
Yeah,
Easter's a great time for family to get together.
yeah, it really is. And of course, we had such a beautiful day up until like yesterday, which was terrible. I thought I was living in Nebraska or something.
Yeah, kind of blew in.
It really did. It really did. And I'm going to just look over here on my other screen for a quick second because I want to see. I want to see it on Facebook since we're back on YouTube. I'm not YouTube. But I want to see us live. Do you see us live on there, Lisa? Do you have yours set up so you can see it?
Yeah, it's not saying anything about being live.
Okay, well, we know it's telling us here that we are. I was just hoping we'd be able to see the chat whenever somebody chats in. So we'll just have to kind of keep an eye on it. So we are in April. So I'm going to go straight to our, first of all, to the Wow the World, because we have our amazing celebrities coming in. Carrie is coming in, and there have been a couple of posts, but y'all can see more and more on that. It's just, we're so excited to have her. I was able to meet with her, with Lisa as well, and get to know her. She has a great heart, and she's so excited about coming and joining us and being part of this whole
Awesome.
event. So it is going to be great. And as we finish up our lineup, so be watching for more exciting news as we get closer to the date. And the biggest thing, you guys, is you are saving, not only now were you saving $200, you now are saving $300 if you get your ticket by April 30th. And so if you just go to the QR code, you will see that information on there. So we want you to get your tickets and then worry about your airline ticket or driving or however you're going to actually get here. Of course, if you're local in town, that's pretty easy. But be sure to get your ticket to the event itself so that you can start making your plans and getting ready for all that. So that's what's up and coming as far as the activities in the Fun Fearless Female world. And you don't have to be a member of Fun Fearless. You know, anyone, every woman is invited. You know, it's a Christian networking event, but also, bring your mom or your sister or your cousin or something, bring people, because it makes it fun. I love sharing those kind of events with somebody that I know. But if you don't, sometimes it might be nice to get away all by yourself and just be yourself, and be able to experience from a different standpoint. So
yes,
we are inviting you there. So this is Holy Week. We are in my favorite, our best time of year. I love it. We have as Christ was walking to the cross. So we had Palm Sunday, and we'll have Maundy, Thursday, and on Friday when Jesus is crucified. But it all leads to Sunday. Everything's leading to Sunday, and I love it because the truth is, without Sunday, there would be no Christianity. There would be no reason to celebrate. We wouldn't have Christianity. There would be nothing to celebrate on Sundays. Nothing would happen if it weren't for Easter, for the resurrection. So that's why it is my favorite. It's always I've always had a little hard time, when the kids were little, that whole Easter bunny thing. I never really got into that. I didn't discount it, but I just didn't get into it because it just felt wrong when the whole thing's about Jesus. So, what about you? So talk to us a little bit about you. Were there some traditions or your favorite memories or your thoughts on Easter, Lisa?
We read scripture and we celebrated, talked about the story and everything, but I wasn't really a fan of the Easter bunny either. We did do the egg hunt, talking about it as it pertained to the tomb, and rebirth and everything. But yeah, I wasn't a big fan of Easter bunny, so we didn't have the Easter bunny and everything like that very much around here. I mean, we did do a slight basket or whatever that the kids would wake up to, but we tried very hard to emphasize other things before all that. Just like on Christmas, I'm not a real big fan of Santa Claus either. So.
And the I think too, and it is a great way, with the tomb and new birth and rebirth, and spring. I was talking to somebody, it could have even been my sister that I was talking to, when we were growing up. So I don't know how old all of you are that are watching us. But when we were growing up, it was always we were off from school for Easter. It was the Easter holiday. And I don't know that it was even a week, but I know that we had 3 or 4 days. We had Friday off and sometimes the Monday after or whatever, kind of switched around, but it was always the Easter holiday. And then somewhere back in, I don't know, by the time my kids were in school, or at least through the high school age, it now became spring break. And it started out being around Easter, but now it doesn't even have anything to do with anything. So spring break has nothing to do with Easter. I don't even think there's, and of course, Easter changes because of the way that the calendar is figured, so it couldn't be, exactly March 10th to the 15th or something. So that always made a difference as well.
Yeah. Yeah, we had that whole week off too before, and I don't think they pay attention to it now anymore.
I don't either. It doesn't have anything to do with it. Matter of fact, if anything, they probably veer around it to not have it.
Probably. Yeah.
We wouldn't want to celebrate for what it really is. Oh, well. But some of the things I do remember as a little girl growing up, my mother had such great style. Well, she still does, but when we were young, I remember going and getting our Easter dress. Now, I know this probably seems really superficial, but it was really fun. And every year we knew we were going to go get our Easter dress and, new little shoes. And mother had us just dressed as just the prettiest clothes. I always loved my Easter dress. We got to help pick it out. So just kind of, that was a family thing that we did. And then my brother, which he didn't like so well, but that was the only time that he had to wear like the boy suit, right, with the tie and the thing. He never did really like that too much.
Yeah.
Then I remember Justin too, my son Justin. He only wore that when he felt he had to. That was not his favorite thing. And in that time, you guys, even when my kids were young, okay, so they're in their 40s now, that even when they were young, we still dressed for church. People don't really do that anymore. I don't know about your church, Lisa, but everywhere I go, right now we're still kind of visiting and we're going to non-denoms. So people don't dress. I mean, I'm not criticizing, I'm just saying the difference. It just feels so different.
Yeah, we dress formally for Sunday. So.
Oh, so you still do. And I know there's some churches that do. I personally like it, I guess probably because I was raised that way. And I like to dress. I like to get dressed and put on my high heels and whatever. And because I was raised in that era of that seemed the respectful thing to do. Now, does that mean you're any better or worse Christian if you don't dress for church? No, of course not. Main thing is let's just get people to come and to hear the word is, really what it's all about. So it's funny, the pastor where we're going. So right now we're going to the Crossing here in Las Vegas, and his name is Shane, Pastor Shane. And one of the first weeks we visited, he talked about that, he was raised in that same thing, very formal setting and having to dress for church. And he made the comment, he said, yeah, he says, I'm not so sure if that's why we started our own church, was so that we didn't have to dress up. So, he wears jeans and tennis shoes and his shirt tail out. It's like, but it doesn't bother him, but it's just, again, it's that difference. And are we going to be flexible? When we have a very casual society, we want people to come to church, right? We want them to come and to join us and hear the word.
Yep.
So,
yep. So.
Any things you want to share? Do you see, Lisa? I can't see anything, so I can't tell if anybody's making a comment or anything. It's pretty.
Yeah, Kathy Wither said Happy Easter. Sometimes some of the comments come in a little late, but yeah, we've got a few people viewing. So hi to everybody who's viewing. And I wonder what other people's traditions are, what they loved about Easter too. So.
Yeah, I'd love to see what they have to say. Was there something you did as your family? And, even now, I think as we get older, we make different traditions for ourselves. And so some of you, well, I guess our kids are gone. They're not here. They don't live in the same town. So the family meal, Easter dinner together, that doesn't happen. But what are some things you do, or even now, maybe when you were growing up, but maybe you've made some new things that you enjoy doing on Easter instead of, what in your earlier time, because that does change.
Yep.
All right. So one of the other things, one of the things my mother always liked to have on Easter Sunday, we always had a ham. And every time I get the coupon from Honey Baked Ham, I think, oh, that's some of that. I don't do that too much anymore, but because I don't really want to eat. They're big and whatever, and I don't really want to eat ham very much. But we would have a ham and like scalloped potatoes or something, and green beans, and the meals. It's interesting, isn't it, Lisa, how holidays always are around food. Like
Yes.
everything's around food, right?
Yes. Yeah, and I know what you're talking about with the ham and stuff. I remember having almost a similar meal. So I'm wondering if our television and media influenced us to have some of that as well.
Yeah, you wonder. Of course, now when we were growing up, now I'm older than you are, but we're sort of kind of in the same era. That was before a lot of, we did have TV and there were ads, but now there's a whole different influx of all the different, honey baked hams and all of those things. And that is my favorite. If I'm going to have ham, it is going to be a honey baked ham. I love those.
So yeah, no, our new tradition on Easter was not a ham with my family. We just had something nice to eat that we felt was, a celebration. And so, but I remember the scalloped potatoes. It is kind of interesting that
Right.
there were similar dishes, but I think that's because there were like all these new devices, so you could like slice the potatoes all real thin on the little scraper thing that you would.
Oh, right. I think I even have one of those under my cabinet that I haven't used. Get put away under the shelf. So
yeah.
So those of you that are watching now, or those that are watching later, did you have a traditional like Easter meal? Let's put that out there. So what was your main course? So maybe if you had a ham, or you had whatever else, maybe you had chicken, or maybe you did hamburgers, maybe you grilled out. What was your main thing that you did as a meal for Easter, either prior young age or what you do now? I don't know what Bill and I will do. We haven't made a new tradition. I think we kind of just flow with like, be good. I do remember something. We often with the kids went to, because Bill's such a golfer, we most always, were members of a golf course and a country club. And so we would very often go to Easter brunch. And that was really fun. It's like, I'm kind of enjoying thinking of that memory right now. We did the same thing because my mother took us shopping for Easter. Then we took our kids shopping for Easter. So we all went to church, and then, went to Easter brunch at the club or someplace. And it was just nice memories. It was a really just a great family time. It was nice to remember.
Right.
Are you seeing anything on there, Lisa? Like I said,
I'm not seeing comments, but I was looking at a list of how to start Easter traditions. And so one of the things that they were talking about was to take photos at that time, so you capture the family, and if you dress up to capture a picture so that you have family photos regularly. Then they were talking about meals. That's like what we were talking about. And they were talking about the fact that take time to explain what Easter is and why it matters, why there's talk of different things. So I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's never too late to, like you say, to start a new tradition, or start something that you want to do. There was one year at the church that I went to that we actually had a Seder dinner on Monday, Thursday, on the Thursday night. And it was the first time I'd ever had that. So, the traditional Jewish Passover dinner. And that meant so much to me because I just never really knew about that. And I noticed that one of the churches here is having one, and I haven't talked to Bill about it yet, but I think that would be nice to go to. Just kind of, I think it's good to always remember where, our heritage comes from, where things come from, and just to remember those times. And then, of course, often there are Good Friday services, for those that want to go, on Friday night before the resurrection on Sunday, which is so cool.
So here's some cute little things to do. They said instead of having Easter dinner together as a family, maybe have an Easter brunch. Then there's resurrection rolls. I don't know that I've ever heard of that before, but it says that you take a marshmallow and some cinnamon and butter, and you wrap the marshmallow into the croissant type roll, and the marshmallow disappears, and it says it represents the fact that Christ disappears from the tomb.
Oh my gosh,
And
I never heard that one. That's a good one. Anybody do
Yeah, that's-
something like that? Share that with us.
and then there's it's a great time for kids to color pictures about Easter. I think that's a great idea. I like that, about him resurrecting and riding on the donkey, and Palm Sunday, and I mean all that kind of stuff. So
Absolutely. And just because how else are they going to know if we don't share the stories, if we don't talk about those things? And then I love the coloring book idea, because then it's that visual thing. You can hear it, but when you see a picture, of Jesus on the donkey, and and like you say, the palm branches, color them in green. It's so visual. So it makes more of an impact, I think. I love that.
Oh, that's a good idea. Bringing in Easter flowers, the flowers that represent Easter. That's kind of cool. So there's all kinds of ways to create new memories too. So that's all we didn't have, like, mostly it was like go to church. So for me, there was a dinner, and there was hunting eggs, and that's about it. And talking about it. We read a lot of scriptures and stuff.
And I think, when you're doing some of the way that makes it easy without, here, sit down, let me tell you about this, that when maybe you are coloring egg. Now, we didn't do that too much in, we didn't do that much at all when I was growing up. And I did it some with my kids, but it's when you're doing those different activities. So when you're coloring in the book, or you're, coloring the Easter eggs, everything's about color, right? It's interesting. Color, the pinks and the purples and the yellows, because it's celebration. After the dark on Friday, the difference of the mood from the crucifixion to now the celebration that, oh my gosh, he really is alive, and he's alive in our hearts every day. Every Sunday is Resurrection Sunday. Every Sunday is what we celebrate as Christians, is the fact that Christ arose from the grave. So just when you're doing those activities, just a little bit of talk about it doesn't make it like, here, sit down, let me tell you all about this. Just incorporating it into conversation, I think, makes it a nice way to be able to do that.
Yeah. And this one's kind of cute, doing an Easter parade of the things that lead up to the resurrection. I think that's good.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
Acting it out with the kids, with this was actually with grandkids, was the suggestion. I think that's kind of cute.
Well, and we think about Easter, we think about Christmas pageants, acting out, the whole Christmas story. So that's kind of cool. I've gone to, of course, big productions, of Easter, but to do like a small one in your family or something, that's a great idea.
Yeah. Well, and there were other ideas, like putting in, in an egg, plastic egg, something that you would change, and then next Easter you would open up that egg and then see if you had been able to accomplish it, or putting your blessings in this year and then taking them out next year on Easter. So those are things that were kind of cool too.
That's a good idea. Yeah, that's a new idea. So anybody have something out there that you would like to share with us? I can't see your chat this morning, but I will definitely once, I will go back and look. So if any comments you make would be great about that. Because I bet some of y'all do have.
Oh, here's some comments.
things.
Obviously my phone is not popping the comments up the way it should. So Alicia Adams says, oh, the Easter dresses. Obviously she was going, yay, the Easter dresses. My grandmother made Easter pies. That is cool. I have not heard. That was from Denise Trope. And there's always a lot of food, she says. Kathy Weaver said deviled eggs. Alicia Adams, fluffy pink dresses. Denise said, love shopping for my daughters and get them their outfits. Yeah, I always remember the Easter dresses. That was something, and I carried that on with my grandkids for quite a while as well.
Yeah.
Denise says she grew up an Italian Jewish neighborhood, so we celebrated both with our friends.
Oh, okay.
That's awesome.
That
then
is.
she also added Easter egg hunt in the afternoon after church. Yes, that was fun. And sorry about the fact that I didn't see the comments until like way late.
Well, yeah, I'm glad you saw them. So,
well, I refreshed it and all of a sudden it went.
ooh, there they were. And I've actually on my other screen, I've tried to do that, but it's just not happening today. And again, I never know why. We just can't fight it. We do what we do, right? So,
Yep.
Oh gosh. So
here, and some more just popped up. It says, Grace says memories of Easter dresses with hats and gloves. And Kathy Weaver said hunting for eggs that now have cash and candy in them. My eggs never had cash and candy. I mean, they had candy in them, but they never had cash in them.
So I think
I'd like to find these eggs.
I would bet you Kathy does that Easter egg hunting. That's what she did for her kids. Kathy, is that right? You made the Easter eggs and had the hunt at your house or around. It sounds exactly how like she would do. So
yeah.
And this year we had, like I said, Brighton is here with my sister, and most of his life we've been together, if not on Easter, right around Easter, most every year since he's been born. And so we've done a variety of Easter egg kind of things. And I very often do put like quarters and sometimes pennies in the eggs. But he's getting 9 now. I think now he's it's about time to put some dollars in there.
So Kathy said yes, she still does that. And then Mary Helen Keller said, I have done Easter egg hunts for our grandkids for the last 15 years. It's been a fun tradition. That's so awesome. Yeah, I think just when we have an excuse to get together as a family and have fun, I think those are just great memories anyway, no matter what the holiday.
Absolutely. So any Sunday or whenever, like I say, any day, whether it's a day of the week or on the weekends, just making those times, because you know what, they don't happen by accident. We really have to be intentional about making those times together. It's easy to just stay caught up in our day-to-day thing that we do unless you really stop and say, let's get together, let's make a time. And the various times when we've done things out in the park when the weather's been nice, to go out and just spend a day just doing nothing except just enjoying each other and watching the kids run around and swinging on the swings. It doesn't even have to be anything that costs money. A lot of times you could go to the arcade or you could go to this or go to that, but just being together as the family with none of that side stuff is really important. It really forges those relationships and makes for good pictures.
Yes, definitely.
So any others there?
I don't know. I'm checking real quick.
Okay.
So Grace said, we used to have brown bunny, the brown bunny bring brown eggs, hard boiled in onion skins, the week before Easter. So we got to hunt twice.
Oh, so they got a double Easter egg hunt.
Yep.
Yeah, that's great. That is great. So it is fun. So Easter just it represents so much. So obviously, the fact that Christ arose. I mean, as we go through the week, I would really challenge y'all to, um, you know, make some special time. Make some special time. Maybe just even this week, you probably already have your devotionals and thing that you do, but maybe just add on a little bit of really thinking about what it really means, what Easter really means, just how much Jesus loved us. I mean, the show, The Passion of the Christ, I just cannot watch that every year. I might watch it this year. I haven't made that decision yet, because
hard.
it hurts me. Yeah, it hurts my
Yeah.
heart so much to see that, but we need to see the pain in some way so we can realize the glory, because what he
Right.
went through for his love for us. And then for Easter morning, it's like he's here, he's alive, he lives in our hearts, and celebrating that. And that's in our lives. That's that joy that we have every day as believers to share with others, close friends, with our neighbors, just being that light that, Christ rose so we could shine his light in the world. And that's what we do, right? Love others.
Yeah. And Mary Helen Keller said we had to put a few good dollars in, excuse me, we have put a good dollar in a few good eggs. That was always exciting, looking for golden eggs. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's great.
And what I was going to bring up here for a second was that thank goodness for Easter, because just going through losing my mother, the sting of death really is swallowed up in Christ. And so without Easter, what I just went through would have been absolutely horrible. And instead of the light at the end of the tunnel, the joy that this event brings. So, like with Paul and other prophets, we rejoice that it swallows up the sting of death.
Absolutely, because you're going to see her. The day's going to come and you're going to see her again. And so it's just this lapse of time here that you miss her, of course, and that time, but knowing that whole belief as Christians of knowing that that's going to happen, we will all be raised as well. Adds to that joy in the celebration. So if you have someone in your life, and most everybody has someone that's passed, and just knowing and remembering that because of what Christ did for the resurrection on Sunday, gives us all hope for the future, for what's ahead, for sure. So, all right, my friend. Any last comment, Lisa?
Just have fun this week. Have this is a time of celebration, but it's also a time, I think, just remember all that we have that's a blessing. And even though we have dark times and things that bring us down, thinking upon this can really bring some light into our life. I like the fact that both of our pictures light.
And I've always loved that picture, the way the light comes through there, for sure.
Yep.
So one of my favorites, I have numerous favorite verses, but one of them is right there behind me, that Jesus said, I've come that they might have life and that they might have it in abundance. And that's what Christ wants for all of you. He wants you to live a life of abundance, and that can be financial, but I think of it even more as, abundance of love and joy and peace and relationships, just all of those things. So surround yourself with those. As Lisa said, think of your blessings this week as you go through. And also I would say just remembering the story this week. And so it makes us understand it more, and to really realize the depth of love that Jesus has for us. So this is going in your Easter week. So that's what we're talking about. I'm not going to hold back. So, not holding back this week. Is it is all about Jesus, and this is his week of celebration. So love you guys. Thank y'all so much for being here. We so appreciate that you spend your time with us. We love that. You have a million other places you could be, and we love it that you chose to be with us. So remember that life's not a matter of chance. It is a matter of choice. Choose wisely, go out and make it a beautiful week, and count your blessings. All right. See you next time.
Bye-bye.
and